The 3 Drives Harmonic Pattern indicator, which is offered for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can download the indicator file for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms and run it on your chart. Traders can also read this page to learn about how the indicator works and its functionality. From the Navigator section, we select the indicator file and run the indicator by dragging the file onto the chart. Once the indicator is placed on the chart, it starts identifying and drawing the 3 Drives Harmonic Pattern on the price chart. Traders who are looking to identify this pattern on the chart can use the 3 Drives Harmonic Pattern indicator to detect it. And finally, by identifying point 3, which in the harmonic pattern is considered the price reversal zone or PRZ, they can enter a buy or sell trade in the market. In the settings section, under inputs, there are options available for us. In the first part, we can set the minimum wavelength of the harmonic pattern, which is set to 5 by default. This option is based on the parameters of the zigzag indicator, which has 3 parameters. Here we can adjust the first parameter, while the other 2 parameters are hard-coded with periods of 3 and 3 in the calculations. In the next section, we can set the number of candles to check for harmonic conditions, which is set to 100 candles by default. This means that from point 3, 100 candles are examined backward to identify point B. From point B, 100 candles are examined backward to identify point 2. Again, from point 2, 100 candles are examined backward to identify point A, and finally, it identifies point O for us, so that it can draw the pattern for us. In the next section, we can enable or disable the display of harmonic pattern lines. In the next section, we can enable or disable the break pivot status, which is set to true by default. If this option is set to true, even if the identified points are broken, the pattern will still remain valid for us and will be displayed. For example, in this section, point 2 has been broken as the price moves upward, but we can see that the wavelength has still been identified and the pattern has formed for us. If we set this option to false, we can specify the distance ratio from the harmonic pattern's pivot to the break pivot in the section below. And if the price movement exceeds the amount we've set in this section, the pattern will not be identified for us. Here, by default, it is set to 100 pips from this section. We can use it as a filter to identify more reliable patterns. In the next section, there is the shift option, which is set to 2 by default. This means that after point 3 is formed, it moves forward by 2 candles, and then it checks the harmonic pattern and displays it on the chart. If we set this option to 0, once the candle closes and point 3 is identified, it checks the harmonic pattern and then displays the pattern. In the next section, we can choose whether to display or not display the bullish harmonic pattern, whether to display or not display the bearish harmonic pattern, and the drawing style of the harmonic pattern, which can be selected from 5 options: solid, dash, dot, dash, dot, or dot, dash. And in the next section, we can set the thickness of the drawn lines, which is set to 1 by default. If we set this option to a value greater than 1, the indicator will automatically display the harmonic pattern in a solid style. In the last section, we can change the color of the bearish harmonic pattern, the color of the bullish harmonic pattern, and the color of the harmonic pattern labels to any color we like. One important point you should definitely pay attention to is that in the MetaTrader 5 platform, these two options are different for us, and the calculation in the second option is based on pivots. That is, in the MetaTrader 4 platform, it is based on candles, meaning that from point 3, it examines 100 candles backward to identify point B. From point B, it examines 100 candles to identify point 2, and in the same way, it continues until it draws point O. But in the MetaTrader 5 platform, it is based on pivots. If I set the number to 10 here, from point 3, it examines 10 pivots backward to identify point B. From point B, it examines 10 pivots backward to identify point 2, and from point 2, it also moves 10 pivots backward until it finally identifies point O and draws the harmonic pattern. The next point you need to pay attention to is the values you set in the first two options. The larger the values you set in these two sections, the patterns identified will have a longer-term trend, and the smaller the values, the patterns identified on the chart will have a shorter-term trend. If you enter larger numbers, bigger patterns will be drawn for you on the chart, and the smaller the values, the patterns that are drawn will be relatively smaller. Well, friends, we've reached the end of this indicator tutorial. I'd be glad if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.